And while these are encouraged here in Georgia, they are not required. They do have their temperature checked, and they are asked to wear a mask. And once they sit down, the mask can come off for their cleaning. This grocery store here, I'm basically living my childhood dream. You get to scan and you get to, of course, run the register here and shop all around. Now these masks will be much like what I have on this morning. They'll be cloth, and so they will be washable and reusable. Signed this declaration Tuesday morning, ordering residents to shelter at home. This building here behind me was fully engulfed in flames. The current citizens arrest law here in Georgia was written and conceived back in 1863, and lawmakers say it's time to repeal it.
Well, it was important before now. It's just that now gives us an opportunity because it's in the public eye. But we should have changed this years ago.
This law came into question early on in the Ahmaud Arbery case when the McMichaels claimed they were trying to catch a known burglar.
This young man had been killed. They told me that it was a racist act, but I would never imagine that it was at the hands of the laws that we have allowed to take place in Georgia that were outdated.
Right now, Georgia law states that a private citizen may arrest an offender if an offense is committed in his or her presence or within his or her immediate knowledge. Author of the bill, Representative Carl Gilliard, and many other lawmakers feel this needs to change here in Georgia. The bipartisan bill, getting support from both sides of the aisle, would get rid of Georgia's current citizens arrest law.
It's not about parties, it's about the people.
Everybody's affected by this. People on both sides of the aisle have had family or friend that has fallen victim to, somebody trying to do something outside the law.
Which is apparent in the amount of people protesting across the country. And to everyone who has been protesting peacefully, Gilliard says the best thing you can do is to lobby your legislators and use the power of your vote.
We got to move Georgia forward. This bill must be repealed. We cannot bring Arbery back, but as we move forward, we can say never again that this can happen.
The legislation has already been filed, and the representatives that are in support of it will be signing it when the session resumes on June 15th. Reporting in Savannah, Emma Hamilton, WJCL 22 News. Captain Matthew Kelly's request, the sound of Jimmy Buffett accompanied Kelly's friends and family today as they said their final goodbyes. Just earlier this year, Kelly was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer at the age of 48.
When I learned of his diagnosis, my spirit was crushed. Pancreatic cancer, I knew what that meant. But I held hope. I had faith he would return and continue to lead in the Savannah Fire Department. He was taken far too young and far too fast.
Many lined the streets of Savannah Thursday, paying their respects to someone who most call a hero. Captain Kelly is an Air Force veteran and served as a firefighter for more than 25 years between Savannah and his home state of Massachusetts.
Being a firefighter speaks to the character of a person who chooses this profession. The word firefighter tells a story of a person who is selfless, who is confident, who is fearless, and willing to put their life on the line for someone they've never met. Captain Matthew Kelly is the definition of a firefighter.
Captain Kelly's team joined him for his final ride down East Oglethorpe Avenue to Savannah Fire Headquarters, and the traditional last call was dispatched to him before he's laid to rest.
Savannah Fire to Rescue 1, Captain Matt Kelly. Savannah Fire to Rescue 1, Captain Matt Kelly, this is your last call. There is no response from Captain Matt Kelly. On behalf of the City of Savannah and Savannah Fire Department, it is with deep sadness and sorrow to report that after nearly 25 years of bravery and service, Captain Matt Kelly has completed his last and final call on Earth.
Reporting in Savannah, Emma Hamilton, WJCL 22 News. We heard Friday for the first time from the Georgia Bureau of Investigation about their decision to make the arrests in what has quickly become a high-profile case.
We base our decisions on two things. One are facts and the other is the law. Whatever the facts are, we apply the law to it. If the law says what the facts are is a felony murder, then we take the warrants for it. I'm very comfortable in telling you that there's more than sufficient probable cause in this case for felony murder.
Thursday evening's arrests of both Gregory and Travis McMichael were without issue, and both were cooperative, according to the GBI. Now, the question being asked by many is why the McMichael's arrest didn't happen back in February when the murder of Ahmaud Arbery took place in the Brunswick neighborhood.
The only thing I can tell people is that, you know, I work at an agency and represent an agency that is committed to doing the right thing for the right reason. I think we've exhibited that in the 36 to 48 hours we've had this case. Anything outside of that, I can't ponder an opinion on it.
Now attention turns to their continued investigation and the possibility of more arrests.
We're continuing to look at all the evidence. They're continuing to do things that haven't been done yet, and we'll plan on doing that the rest of the time it takes before they make some decision or conclusion whether or not probable cause exists to arrest anyone else.
The GBI says while it wishes it was called in to help with the case when it happened back in February, the agency isn't able to get involved until it is asked to do so. District Attorney Tom Durden, who is leading the case, received the case in mid-April and asked the GBI for its assistance on Tuesday.
Mr. Director, where does the investigation go from here?
We'll continue to track down leads. We'll continue to talk to people. We'll continue to talk to folks in the neighborhood. We'll rehash and relook at stuff that's already been done in the case to decide whether or not any of that needs to be added to or any else work needs to be done. And again, we're doing an investigation is similar to following a road. Sometimes it's straight, sometimes it turns, sometimes it's curved. So wherever that factual road takes us is exactly where we'll go.
GBI Director Reynolds says his office's investigation is ongoing and could continue for quite some time. Reporting in Brunswick, Emma Hamilton, WJCL 22 News. Turning to your coronavirus news now, the Georgia Department of Public Health says there are nearly 61,000 COVID-19 cases across the state. At this time last week, there were nearly 55,000 cases. In South Carolina, the Department of Health and Environmental Control says it's reporting more than 21,500 cases of coronavirus. Last week, there were nearly 16,500 cases. Savannah's faith leaders and the mayor say they are not ready to reopen houses of worship. Mayor Van Johnson's Faith Leaders Task Force is asking places of worship in Savannah to remain closed at this time. City Council members in Bloomingdale are calling on Mayor Ben Rozier to resign after he posted a controversial Facebook post. 2 days ago, Mayor Rozier posted this rant on a community Facebook page. It's centered around privilege, and it seemed to be a response to the term white privilege, which has made waves across social media in recent weeks. The mayor deleted the post after backlash. We have reached out to the mayor, but he has not responded. WJCL has learned that a protest outside of City Hall is planned for tomorrow afternoon. A Georgia officer went viral following an emotional Facebook live stream outside of a Richmond Hill McDonald's. Our Stephen Moody reports on what has happened since that video gained traction.